Welcome to Big 12 Now on ESPN Plus, and we welcome you to Hilton Coliseum, where we expect about 10% capacity due to COVID restrictions, about 1,300 fans, for this matchup between 17th ranked West Virginia and the Iowa State Cyclones. Terrific to have you with us tonight from our at-home studios. I'm Mark Neely in the Kansas City area. My partner, former Baylor guard King McClure in Dallas. And King, I think everybody can agree your alma mater, Baylor, is the best team in the Big 12 right now. Is West Virginia at least in the conversation as being the second best team in the Big 12?
Well, some people would say Texas, but Texas came to West Virginia. West Virginia had the game the whole time until the very last shot by Andrew Jones. I think West Virginia can make a run for it. It's close.
West Virginia is coming off a loss in the SEC Big 12 Challenge on Saturday to Florida, but in that game, Derek Culver, he had a career-high 28 points.
Mark, Derek Culver is an absolute man-child. 28 points, 12 rebounds on 60% from the field last game. This kid is a dog. I played against him my senior year. Trust me when I tell you, he is a monster. Miles McBride, what else can we say about this kid? On his way to the next level, his leap from freshman year to sophomore year has been incredible. This kid is talented as well.
Well, like basically every team in college basketball, both these teams have been affected by COVID. It was a 14-day pause for West Virginia not long ago. It's been a 16-day pause for Iowa State at one point due to COVID. The good news for the Cyclones tonight is that they will be getting back Solomon Young as well as Trey Jackson. They won't start, but they'll see minutes tonight. And, King, that's big for the Cyclones.
Man, this is huge for the Cyclones because we talked to Coach Frome. They want to make a push in February and March to see if they can even have a chance to make the tournament. And they will not do it without these two guys. Solomon Young, probably arguably their best player, him and Rasir Bolton. Trey Jackson brings that defensive presence that they most definitely need in order to get stops.
David Johnson will not play tonight for Iowa State. It is the Cyclones in their Cardinal red that have the game's first possession. Jalen Coleman-Lands making the start. He had COVID protocol to deal with as well and came off the bench against Mississippi State on Saturday in their SEC Big Challenge loss in Starkville. Condit with the first shot, and that's short.
I think that
see the starting
Derek
lineup
Culver,
for West Virginia.
I think that Derek Culver is going to be play a huge role in this game because right now, without Solomon Young playing confined minutes, I think George Condit, I don't know if he can do it. He might get in foul trouble early. They'll probably go to him a lot.
Culver with the left hand. He is short, and the long rebound bounces all the way out to Tash Sherman, and they set it up again for the Mountaineers. McCabe. Here's Deuce. McBride pull up by a long two. He knocks down to begin the scoring tonight.
The mid-range killer.
Here's your Iowa State lineup. Coleman-Lands is in the lineup, as you see, and Condit once again. Rasir Bolton, who has been the mainstay for Iowa State all season, is the only one to have started every game. Coleman-Lands just off the mark with a three. Here's McBride in transition. Flips it back, and a three by McCabe. Good. And a chance for a four-point play.
Oh, wow. This is a great sign for Jordan McCabe. Not shooting the ball well, but ever since he started after that COVID break, the kid's been playing well, stepping up to the plate. Good sign for West Virginia.
Just his seventh made three of the season. Had been hitting 26% of those threes on the year. And after the foul by Tyler Harris, McCabe, an 81% foul shooter, completes the four-point play, and it's a 6-0 run to start this game for West Virginia. Condit lost it on the pass from Bolton. Here's McCabe again. West Virginia in transition. Culver lost it. He has his pocket picked by Tyler Harris. Flipped underneath. Condit reverses and scores. Nice feed from Tyler Harris.
Tyler Harris is a guy that Iowa State needs to get going. They need him to be able to make plays off the bounce.
So Culver with the bucket, and early in this game, just over 2 minutes in, Steve Prohm, the head coach of Iowa State, calls a timeout. Well, a lone Iowa State bucket tonight, King. Very nice feed by Tyler Harris here.
Tyler Harris can do this. He did it at Memphis. he has the potential. I mean, he's a point guard at heart. He's a 5'9". He can't play the 2. He's a point guard. He has to be able to make plays off the bounce and put his teammates in positions to score, just like he did right there.
What do you think caught Steve Prohm's eye here for this early timeout, King?
Hey, just not getting back in transition. I mean, you foul a three-point shooter early in the game. You get to and 1-3. That's not very smart. Come down, throw an easy pass to Derek Culver because you didn't get back, lazy. You got to wake up right here. It's 8-2. You're fighting for your season. You got to get on track right now.
Let's take a look at the Big 12 standings. Baylor, by the way, underway in Austin. They have an early 8-4 lead a couple minutes in on the Longhorns. Trying to stay unbeaten. Texas, OU, West Virginia. Look at all the ranked teams. Kansas has fallen to 23. They're in danger of falling out of the top 25, which has not happened in a very long time.
Man,
but
Mark,
Oklahoma,
I wish. Mark, I wish that I would have played against the Kansas team like this. Hey, my Kansas teams were Wayne Selden, Frank Mason, Devontae Graham. I wish I would have played against this year's Kansas team.
Bolton couldn't get it over the rim. Able to tip it back, though, to Harris. He's going to shoot a 3. That's well short. Kansas, by the way, playing K-State tonight in Lawrence, a game that gets underway in just about an hour. Also on Big 12 Now on ESPN+. That's another 3 from McCabe. Could not hit a second in a row. Condit trying to block out Culver is called for the foul.
Hey, you better be ready for that, because every time that ball is shot, Eric Culver, the man-child, is going to the rim at 100 miles per hour to go rebound. He averages 10 boards on the season. He averages a double-double, Mark. How crazy is that? How different is that? You're built different if you're averaging a double-double on the season.
Yeah, leading the conference in rebounding in early January, was added to the midseason Wooden Award Watch top 25. And Mountaineers go up by 8 here after that bucket.
That was tough. Pump fake to the one dribble pull up off the glass. That's a skilled shot right there.
Coleman lands from his favorite spot in the corner, drains one for the Cyclones.
It's a big shot. This game was about to get out of control. It's a big shot by Jalen.
Culver traveled.
Iowa State needs more of this. Rasheed Bolden, the second time he's done this, been able to drive, penetrate, locate where the defense is, and kick to the open man in the corner. If they can do that, Rasheed Bolden and Tyler Harris, I think they have a chance to make this game interesting.
Jalen Coleman lands, hit 3 threes in the first meeting with West Virginia. It was a nice drive for the Cyclones.
The freshman, Jaden Walker, the kid that Coach Prohm we talked about, said that this kid has a lot of potential. Steve Prohm personally worked this kid out and told the kid, I believe in you. And right there, you can tell on that drive, he's confident and he's feeling himself. And I think he'll play a big role also in today's game.
In and out on the free throw, can't complete the 3-point play. The freshman out of Lawrenceville, Georgia. But it cuts the West Virginia lead down to 3. These teams played a very tight one early in conference play in Morgantown. A pass looking for Culver is not a good one from Sherman, and a West Virginia turnover. That first meeting, though, King, Iowa State really feels like they should have won the game, and you can understand why they feel that way. They led that game with 30 seconds left. West Virginia won it 70-65.
Man, it's hard to win up there in West Virginia. I don't think, actually, I've never won there. That's not easy. Good shot. That's not an easy place to win at.
It is not. And Coleman lands his favorite spot in that corner, has a couple of threes, and Iowa State's dug out of the early hole. Culver stopped, had it stripped, diving. Bolton able to flip that to Harris, and here come the Cyclones. Coleman lands. That time he has a defender on him. He had a couple of open looks from that spot. Jalen Bridges was not going to give him an open look there, but now going back to West Virginia. When we come back, part of Black History Month and the Black Heroes when we come back.
It's Black History Month, and growing up, I really grew up loving and looking up to Martin Luther King, who's a fellow member of my fraternity, Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, and Muhammad Ali. It was my older brother, Rayshawn, because, you know, it seems in tough times he always stayed even-keeled and got through the situation. He's always helped me growing up.
Martin Luther King Jr., because he showed if you bring people together, you can change a whole nation.
Jackie Robinson, as a black male athlete, he set so many, he knocked down so many barriers in American sports for people like me and all of my teammates to be able to play sports here. And I just want to say thank you to him and everybody else in Black history.
If you're looking for more Black history storytelling, hop online, go to theundefeated.com. February, of course, Black History Month. King, let me ask you, who stands out for you? Who are some of your heroes?
I think the biggest black hero that I have is my father. I mean, he really helped me in everything I do, but helped me become the man that I am today. He's big on really educating African Americans, helping them learn how to read and helping people remember that black minds matter too. So, Mark, who's yours?
I'm going to stick to the athletic side. We saw Deuce McBride. He mentioned Jackie Robinson. For me, it's Bill Russell, the Boston Celtic great, who not only is one of the great players, but the things that he did, winning championships, then being a head coach, he broke a lot of barriers in the NBA, and I'm happy we still have him around.
Big time.
Ooh. Jumper from the corner. And Iowa State, how about this? Coleman lands.
Yeah, that's a big sign, Mark. Jalen Coleman lands getting hot. Didn't start last game, but starting off with the hunger this game.
Jalen Bridges able to answer for West Virginia. Mountaineers are shooting the ball well to start the game. They're 5 of 7. And Iowa State has hit 5 of their first 9 from the field, including those threes from Jalen Coleman lands.
Hey, if this guy can get going, might be a long night. This third three, big time. Flip side, Jalen Bridges. I love the addition of him. Ever since Sheway left and they moved this guy into the starting lineup, he just provides more space and more shooting on the court. It's made this team way better.
Bob Huggins very high on Jalen Bridges, the redshirt freshman who's from Fairmount, West Virginia, not far from Morgantown. Rebound for McCabe, and he'll run it out up ahead for the aforementioned Jalen Bridges. Nice back cut. McBride denied at the rim. Solomon Young has checked in for the first time, and he is called for the foul. And this was close.
Let's see. Good cut. Oh, ref. Nah, that's clean. That's a block. It's a bad call by the referee right there.
McBride, who's been the leading free throw shooter for West Virginia, misses the first. Solomon Young back in. Has not played since January 9th against Texas Tech when he had 15 points in 31 minutes. In fact, King, I think you were in Ames to call that game.
Yeah, I was there. I was there. The last time they played there.
So a 14-13 lead for West Virginia. Both teams off to good shooting starts tonight. Here's Young. Let's take another look, King. Block or foul?
What's a good backdoor cut first and foremost? Hey, that's all ball. There's no body contact.
That's great angle from our crew. And from that angle, it looked like it was clean.
Yeah, there's no foul.
Solomon Young, such an important part. They run the offense well through Solomon Young. He is an important cog for them to have back.
Yeah, he's super important. He's very efficient. I mean, that's the biggest thing. When you throw it to him, he's guaranteed to get at least 1 point per possession when you look at his numbers. But I think defensively, he provides a huge. He can get better, but I think he's a really, really good rim protector. Like he's very underrated when it comes to that part of his game.
Jordan McCabe checked out with 2 fouls already for West Virginia. We got Kedrian Johnson in the game, Emmett Matthews in there, Gabe Osaboyan, and a travel by Osaboyan going to the rim. Well, big games going on tonight around the Big 12. Number 2 Baylor, unbeaten Baylor Bears, leading the Big 12. And they're up by 7 on Texas right now. KU State from Lawrence comes up in just a bit at 8 Eastern time. And tomorrow you got Oklahoma State TCU on ESPN2. Right now, if you're Iowa State, though, King, you got to be pretty happy with the start. Couldn't get that to fall for Bolton, but he is going to go to the free throw line.
I mean, this Iowa State team always competes. I mean, when you look at when they had Baylor here, I mean, when they had Texas, well, Texas Tech was an absolute blowout. I don't talk about that. But when they had Baylor here, I mean, they played Baylor very close until like the very last 4 or 5 minutes of the game. They're going to compete. I mean, it's just a matter of making those plays to get over the hump. But this team competes. Steve Prohm always makes sure of that.
Bolton missed the first free throw. He's an 83% foul shooter after that foul on freshman Sini Njai, who's in the game, number 23 for West Virginia, playing in just his 8th game of the season. Johnson looking for Njai instead for McBride. He's going to launch the 3. Well off the left side, but Trey Jackson, who's in the game for Iowa State. Another one of those back from COVID protocol for the Cyclones, kept it alive. Bolton. Good ball movement, finds a wide open Jackson. Got it.
That was just his 5th ball movement.
And just his 5th made 3 of the game, but at the other end, Emmett Matthews responds with a 3 of his own for West Virginia.
It's a good sign. Emmett Matthews is a confidence kid. I mean, my senior year, when they went to the Big 12 tournament and made that run, this kid actually had one of the most impressive runs I've seen. The layup right there. He had one of the most impressive runs I've seen. This kid can really play. He's very talented. He just, I just don't know what it is. I think it's his confidence, but he has to figure it out.
Here's Matthews again, floater, kicks off, able to tip it, but into the hands of Jalen Coleman lands. 4-point lead for the Cyclones in the ball. Out of dribbling from Bolton. Fires it underneath. It's Solomon Young.
Bashir Bolton doing a great job of getting his teammates involved so far. Easy pass, easy seal, duck in. Solomon Young and 1.
Another foul on Sini Njai, so 2 quick ones on the West Virginia freshman. Young, an 82% foul shooter, finishes that off, and a 7-point lead, largest of the night for the Cyclones.
You know, what I find interesting, Mark, is when you have a player like Solomon Young and Trey Jackson, and you have a game like this, and you say a limits restriction, how often does the coach really stick to the limits restriction?
I'll be interested to see how many minutes those players play. Jackson and Young, who are back tonight. Loose ball, grabbed by Jackson. They look to trap Coleman, lands, dangerous and underneath. Condit reverses, can't get it to fall though. Matthews, Culver, fouled on the bump. Culver at the line when we come back, but Iowa State out to a 7-point lead.
Hey, I know one thing. If you do not make shooters put the ball on the floor, they will do this. Spray threes all game long. Jalen Coleman lands primarily a spot-up shooter. Great ball movement tonight by the Cyclones, but you better make him put the ball on the floor, get him uncomfortable, get him out of his rhythm. Because when he's just doing that, he is a great player.
First meeting between these teams back on December 18th in Morgantown. Lance went 3 for 5 in 3-point shooting, had 11 points, and he already has hit 3 of 5 for 9 points in this game. A game where West Virginia got out to a very quick 8-point lead, but a run by Iowa State, and they have their largest lead of the game of 7 right now with 11:15 to play in the first half.
And Mark, Jalen Coleman-Lands is probably pushing for one of the oldest players in college basketball, because I know he came out with me in class 2015. He came out of high school with me in class 2015, and I'm 24.
He is in his 6th year. He obviously, like everybody else, it's a free year. He could come back if he wanted to, perhaps next year, which would be a 7th year. I asked him about that a while back, and he kind of like, yeah, I've probably got some other things to do. And he is such an interesting guy, creative, business-oriented. He is somebody that's going to do really great things, whatever he decides to do.
Man, there's not enough money in this world to pay me to go sit in somebody's classroom at this age. That's a no-go.
Bolton.
The pass.
He is well off the mark. Jaden Walker, the freshman. Iowa State still without Javen Johnson, who's been one of their key scorers all year as well, dealing with COVID protocol.
The pass.
Linked off for McBride. Rebound for Culver. Spins. Ooh, nice move. That's big time move by the big man, the 6'10 Derek Culver.
Man, he is so hard to stop when he gets the ball.
Bolton's pass was very high, and that's what led to the turnover. McCabe, who's back in the game. Matthews, the lefty, just a bit strong. McCabe, by the way, 1 foul. He switched one of the fouls originally assessed to him, but Njai does have 2 fouls for West Virginia.
Man, he's so hard to stop Derek Culver because, one, you got to put a body on him. He's so big. It's hard to box him out. And his footwork is impeccable. Yes, I said impeccable. His footwork is great. He knows how to work and move. Always tries to get back to the left hand, though. But this kid is a beast down low.
You have all the adjectives.
Hey, that's that Baylor education, man.
Yes. 8 points off turnover for Iowa State, and a chance to add to that stat right here on the bad pass from Culver. That's a half dozen turnovers already for West Virginia. Iowa State looking for their first conference win, looking for their first win period since they beat Jackson State on December 20th. Again, they did have a 16-day section where they did not play at all due to COVID protocol not long ago. Try to kiss it off the glass, Darlin Stone Dubar, but here comes West Virginia the other way. McBride. And they're going to call that a foul, blocking foul on Rasir Bolton.
Coming down full speed. Yeah, he was moving a little bit. I think that's, I mean, it could have gone either way. I probably would have called it a block, same call. So I'll say good call by the ref.
Kelly Self, Terry Oglesby, Terry Weimer, our officiating crew tonight. That is 2 fouls, though, now on Rasir Bolton. So he is the first Cyclone to 2 fouls. The pull up off the back heel from McCabe. Tyler Harris, who brings it ahead for Iowa State. For a moment saw an opening, but Culver filled that. Here's Solomon Young, and Culver, and with the left hand he scores. I know we'll see how many minutes we see from Solomon Young tonight, King, but I love the matchup, Culver and Solomon Young, watching that all night.
I was just about to say that. I really like this matchup right here.
Nice moves,
I really like that matchup for real, Mark. This will be entertaining. I mean, kind of like you said, I don't know how many minutes Solomon Young will play. If I'm the coach, I might slowly increase that minutes restriction, but this could be a great matchup to watch.
That's a 3. McNeil in the game, and if this guy gets hot, he can help carry a team. Sean McNeil drains one, and he gets fouled.
Man, you want to talk about confidence? This kid right here, Sean McNeil, when he sees one go in, I promise he might shoot that next one from half court. This kid right here, when he gets going, is very hard to stop. He's an elite shooter. Percentages don't really say it, but his confidence shows it.
Fouled by Dubar. We saw a 4-point play earlier in the game for West Virginia's McCabe. And now McNeil can't finish the 4-point play there. He's a 91% free throw shooter, but did not complete it. So it is still a 1-point lead for Iowa State. Here's Young. This time Osaboyan has him down in the low block. Spinning, turning, punched it out, but into the hands of McCabe. Matthews on the drive. And Dubar commits his second foul in the last 2 trips down the floor for West Virginia. 1-point lead for the Cyclones. Great to have you with us tonight. Big 12 now on ESPN Plus from Ames, Iowa. 1-point lead for the Cyclones. Let's check our Big 12 news and notes. I know it wasn't a great offensive game last night, but I really enjoyed watching Tech and Oklahoma in that showdown in Lubbock, which Tech won by 5. Baylor, they're still perfect, and right now they are up by 10 with about 6.5 minutes left in the first half in Austin tonight. And how about this? Kansas is almost out of the top 25, and they are 5th right now in the Big 12 standings.
Man, I mean, there's so much that jumps out to me on there. I think the biggest thing for me is Oklahoma. Like who would have ever thought? I saw something crazy. Like 2 weeks ago, they had 0 votes in the top 25 in the AP voting. Now all of a sudden, they're number 9 in the country. I mean, who would have ever thought? Especially this year. I mean, I wouldn't have guessed it.
Knocked off 3 top 10 teams in a row, and then almost got Tech last night, who's just out of the top 10. Matthews hits both free throws to give West Virginia back the lead. And Matthews is going to come out. West Virginia is going to pick up some pressure full court. Trying to feed Solomon Young, but picked off. Here comes Deuce.
Oh.
He feeds Bridges. Can't complete that flush. And then the bunny missed by McBride. And there won't be a third opportunity as Trey Jackson runs out for the Cyclones.
Although it was a miss, I like the aggressive flush attempt.
Now Jackson loses the handle. Osaboyan for McCabe in transition. Here comes West Virginia. McNeil lines up a 3. That's his second one of the night.
Hey, Mark, let's see if you think of what I'm thinking. Who does Gabe Osaboyan remind you of in the Big 12?
Of a current player?
Yes,
right now
current player.
Or in the past?
Yes. Current player.
Well, Osaboyan is obviously not a great scorer. He's known for his defense, his rebounding, and he's helped West Virginia on a 10-0 run right here. That shot kind of flipped up by Coleman, lands in a foul on West Virginia. Can you give me let's take a look at this transition 3.
That's what he does. Sean McNeil sees one go in. It's going to be a long night.
The first half he had against Kansas back on December 22nd, he hit 6 threes in the first half. Kansas did come back to win that game. Here's a drive high off the glass. Tough shot for Jaden Walker. And Solomon Young was able to try to collect the rebound, but enough that he was fouled.
All right, look, Mark, I'm going to help you out since you haven't given me the answer. I'm going to help you out. To me,
help me, please.
Maybe I'm tripping, but to me, Gabe Osaboyan reminds me of Mark Vital. I don't know why it is.
Oh, yeah, okay. I can see that.
They're kind of similar in the same nature. They play defense, don't really score the ball, look to pass, do all the little things for the squad.
3 way off the mark. I'll say this, Mark Vital, and no disrespect to Osaboyan, Vital is a little better offensive player than Osaboyan.
Yeah.
We're talking shades here, King. Come on, he's a former teammate of yours.
I mean, look, neither one of them. I've seen Mark Vital for like a million years. I feel like he's been there for forever. But he still doesn't have a jump shot. And I feel like neither one of them look to score. Like Mark Vital, I feel like he's more aggressive as far as driving to the cup. I think they're super similar when you compare their game.
You know, I'll say this, though, being in this conference for so many years, when I ask different coaches, when there are coaches that will tell me, and that's a deep three from McNeil as he was getting a heat check there. Bridges. Here's Osabuoye doing what he does best there, and that's setting up a teammate and a big slam by McBride.
Oh.
And just like that, it's a 6-point lead for West Virginia. But what I was going to say, most coaches I talk to in the Big 12, when they look at Baylor, they say, the player that I would love to have is Mark Vital.
Oh, yeah.
We got to get another look at this Deuce McBride stuff thanks to Osabuoye's feed.
Good rebound by Osabuoye first and foremost. And Deuce McBride come flying in. Young Skywalker right there.
You know, Deuce McBride in his sophomore year right now leading the Big 12 in assist to turnover ratio at about 2.67 to 1. He's 7th in the Big 12 in scoring, 3rd in steals. He just does a little bit, if not a lot, of everything for West Virginia.
Yeah, I mean, everybody talks about his scoring, but what I'm most impressed with is his willingness to compete on the defensive end. I mean, normally you see a guy who gets buckets and he can pass to such a great offensive player. You won't see them compete on defense, but this dude competes all game, and that's why I love him, and that's why I think he has a great chance to play on the next level.
Iowa State's gone cold. They've missed their last 7 from the field and haven't scored in over 9 minutes. Meanwhile, West Virginia has gone on a run and opened up now an 8-point lead, which equals their largest of the game.
Now, Miles McBride gives me Dexter Miles and Javon Carter type vibes. Like, I feel like he would have fit in perfectly on that squad.
And an and one. Oh, that's going to be a charge taken by Osabuoye, I believe.
Hey, Mr. Do It All. Does all the little things. Who else other than Gabe Osabuoye sacrificing his body, taking a charge for his squad.
Three, McNeil short. He hit his first 2. He's missed his last 2, and then a tie up as Coleman lands. And Osabuoye each had a piece of that rebound. Possession arrow, West Virginia ball. West Virginia on a 14-0 run. Iowa State's gone cold from the field. They have not had a field goal actually since the 8:55 mark, so it's been over 4 minutes. Bolton trying to end that drought, can't do so. McNeil with the left hand. He says, well, my 3 wasn't falling the last couple of times. Let me take it to the rim.
Same thing I was going to say. More than just a shooter. Can get to the cup, too. Can put it on the ground. Versatile.
Ten-point lead now for the Mountaineers. Pass over the top is too far for Solomon Young. And now 8 turnovers for the Cyclones in the first half. Here's Kohler. One dribble. Missed it with the left hand. Tried to go back up. Lost it. And then Johnson stripped but fouled. Timeout in Ames. When we come back, let's get to know more about the outstanding sophomore for West Virginia. The guy they call Deuce, Miles McBride. Miles McBride, West Virginia sophomore guard. Dad Walt played at Xavier. Mom Kim played tennis at Ohio State, so both parents are athletes. Went to Archbishop Moeller High School in Cincinnati, where Larkin Griffey, Jackson Hayes, who played at Texas in the Big 12, all went to that high school. Miles was also the quarterback at Archbishop Moeller High School. Broke his ankle. There was thought that maybe his athletic career was over with that break. And Bob Huggins never saw him play basketball. But King, his friend Carl Kramer, a friend of Bob Huggins, who knows McBride, said, look, take this kid. Sight unseen. He's tough. You won't regret it.
Man, hey, you must really trust somebody in order to not see a kid but still take him. Then he ends up being your best player. That's a lot of faith and trust, but hey, I guarantee you his trust is a lot higher in that person after giving him Miles McBride.
He has 7 points in 16 minutes. He's on the bench. It's a 16-0 run here for West Virginia. 8 of those points have come from McNeil. And now Iowa State's 0 for their last 9 from the floor, and they have 4 turnovers in the last 5.5 minutes.
Oh,
and an offensive foul on McNeil. We mentioned that McBride's dad, Walt, see him in the middle playing overseas in Germany in his pro career. Miles' brother, Trey, also a hoopster, and you see Miles there on the right. The McBride family, well represented in the basketball world. Look at this drought for Iowa State. Missed 12 of their last 13 from the field.
Need to have more penetration like they did earlier with Rasheer Bolden getting to the paint, finding, locating where the defense was helping at. Right now they just looking all types of, just out of whack and just not running their offense. West Virginia's doing a great job of getting them out of their comfort zone.
Pass underneath for Matthews. Was able to throw it back, but picked off by Bolton. And here comes Rasheer Bolden trying to end this drought, and finally does for Iowa State.
It's a tough finish in traffic right there. Having to finish over 2 people, that's tough.
Second bucket of the game for Bolton. Here's a drive for Bridges. Rebound, Condit. By the way, for West Virginia, Taz Sherman, who started tonight, played 9 minutes, got poked in the eye. He's been on the bench since for West Virginia. There's a possibility we will see him back. That's the last report we have. And Iowa State back-to-back buckets to try to stem the tide now. They get a 2-possession game.
Iowa State, they've been losing, but Rasheer Bolden averaging 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. That's a very impressive stat line. And this is a very impressive finish. Say what you want to say, this kid's been producing.
Well, he leads the Big 12 in minutes, averaging over 35 minutes per game for Rasheer Bolden. Mention the other numbers. Leads him in scoring at 16 a game. His assist to turnover ratio is just a little bit more than 1-to-1, about 1.1-to-1, and that's one area I know Steve Prohm, if he wants to get nitpicky, he would like to see the turnovers reduced for Bolton. But without Rasheer Bolton this year, they would be in a bigger world of hurt than they've already dealt with. Well, coming up Wednesday, women's hoops, Iowa State taking on 21st ranked West Virginia at 7 Eastern. And Oklahoma traveling to Morgantown to play West Virginia at 1 Eastern. And then Friday, February 19th, Cyclones Mountaineers matchup in wrestling, all right here. Big 12 now on ESPN Plus.
I wonder who has the best wrestling team in the Big 12.
Well, I can't say I'm up with that, but you and I have been in this conference a long time, and Oklahoma State is always the team. They have the Wrestling Hall of Fame just a few steps away.
Oh yeah,
from Gallagher-Iba Arena.
Yeah. I forgot about that. So they got to be the can't say the Kansas anymore because
they're definitely one of the heavyweights.
Yeah, they got to be one of the heavyweights for sure.
In wrestling, Iowa State saw the deficit go to double digits at 10. They've been able to whittle a little bit off of that. And Condit going to the line. George Condit, a guy a couple of years ago, his freshman year, King, George Condit was a really big, important piece for them. And has kind of fell off the map for a while, but with the COVID protocol and with Solomon Young out, they've needed George Condit to step up here.
Yeah, so my senior year, I think, was his freshman year. And then one thing he was really excellent at, which doesn't sound like much, but really is a lot when it comes to the game of basketball, is setting screens and rolling very hard. And with all the shooting that they had with Tyrese Halliburton and a whole bunch of other guys that had Shayok, his ability to run to the rim made it harder for you to, tag off the ball screen. So he played really well, and he has to step up with Solomon Young with limited restrictions.
I mentioned Taz Sherman, who got poked in the eye earlier in the half, is back in, and he's going to chance for the old-fashioned three-point play here after the foul committed by Dudley Blackwell, who's checked in for Iowa State.
And I think Taz Sherman is so nice. As far as basketball-wise, I think this kid is so good at basketball. He's so smooth. His ability to create jump shots and his ability to be able to score. He has a big knack for scoring, and I love this kid's game.
Yeah, 6 consecutive double-figure scoring games. Does Taz Sherman. He's at 5 points here in the first half, so he's on pace at least to continue that tonight. Here's a pull-up. Blackwell, a freshman out of Miami, Florida. You have Solomon Young back in the game, who, by the way, has played 12 minutes so far in this first half. Trey Jackson, who is also on a minutes monitoring situation, has played 10. Those two both back from COVID protocol tonight for the Cyclones. There's another play by Taz Sherman.
He's just so crafty. His ability, that footwork right there, the slow footwork, and to get to the cup, the pace of play. I like his game.
11-point lead, largest of the game for West Virginia, and basically no difference shot clock and game clock. And the Cyclones try to hold it here for the final shot of the half. Bolton pull up, big floater. Well, West Virginia got out to an early 8-point lead. Iowa State went on a run, led it by 1 point at 7, but it's West Virginia up by 11 at the point lead for West Virginia is their largest as we get ready to start the second half. Glad you could join us tonight. Mark Neely along with King McClure. In this game, West Virginia, boom, got out to a quick 8-point lead. But Iowa State came back, took a 7-point lead of their own. A lot of that thanks to Jalen Coleman-Lance.
Jalen Coleman-Lance scored the first 9 out of 13 points, but was quiet after that. I mean, at first, he was comfortable, knocking down shots. Then Iowa State, then West Virginia finally got to him, realized that that's what he does. Take the 3 away, make him put the ball on the floor. On the flip side, this kid right here, McNeil, he's a straight bucket getter. Elite shooter, always looking to catch and shoot. Got West Virginia off to their run, and down low, this man-child right here, Derek Culver, rebounding dude, just doing what he does, picking up where he left off, easy bucket after easy bucket. Who's going to stop in this half?
3 different scores for West Virginia with 7 points. Culver, McBride, and Sherman each had 7. And Jalen Coleman-Lance had those early 3s. And he leads Iowa State with his 9 points. Bolton with 7 points as well for the Cyclones. And again, a big rebounding edge for West Virginia in that first half. They out-rebounded Iowa State by 14. But King, that's, I hate to say, that's what you expect West Virginia to do. They're going to hit the glass hard.
Man, that's the identity of West Virginia. When I was there at Baylor, the week before we played West Virginia, the one thing we practiced was breaking the press, and then the other thing was rebounding. They always they used to send 4 to the glass. Now they don't send nearly as many, but you must block out when you play West Virginia.
And West Virginia had 28 rebounds in the half, and Iowa State had half that of 14. And on their first possession, it's turned over by Jalen Coleman-Lance to McCabe underneath. And there's Culver, and he now has 9 points. Go along with 8 rebounds. A guy who's been a double-double machine, leading the Big 12 with 8 double-doubles this year, and he has 24 in his career, and he's certainly on pace to get another tonight.
He's just an absolute monster. He just makes the game look so easy. He's a physical specimen down low.
Bolton finds the corner, and an open 3 for Harris.
That's what Iowa State got away from in the first half. They stopped penetrating and stopped looking to kick. West Virginia kept them out of the paint, kept them out of the lane, kept them from finding people. Iowa State needs more of that this half. They want to make this game interesting.
Culver and Solomon Young. Young, by the way, played 13 minutes of the first half. Culver not there. Here's Bolton with the drive, and he gets it to fall.
Tough layup right there.
Bolton had 25 points in the first meeting this year with West Virginia. Played all 40 minutes. He has 9 points tonight. McBride, long 2. A little bit long with the shot, and a 1 and done for the Mountaineers that time. Harris passes up the 3, gives it to his teammate. Coleman lands unable to hit that three, and then a sliding attempt to get the rebound, and it goes the other way. Numbers for the Mountaineers. McCabe off the back heel. Long rebound, and here comes Rasheer Bolton. Nice pass. Young. And that's the only opportunity for Iowa State. Here's an open look. Bridges. We'll take a look at what's going on in Austin, Texas. Down double digits most of the first half. They have taken the lead by one early in the second half in Austin. So again, we'll keep a close eye on that. Here was an 11-point lead at the break for West Virginia. That has been cut down to 8 by the Cyclones. Kansas out to the early lead as well by 7 at Allen Fieldhouse. That's on Big 12 now on ESPN Plus as well. McCabe behind the back to Culver. Second opportunity, got it. But how about that behind the back feed from McCabe where he was completely sealed off on the baseline?
And that's one of those plays you have to finish it after the behind the back pass. You gotta help my man with the assist.
Yeah.
But you smoke the layup, just padding your stats right there, getting the rebounds so you get an extra board. But at least he finished it.
He does have 9 rebounds thanks to his first miss on that, so he's 1 rebound away from a double-double. Coleman lands. Well, we mentioned that he scored 9 of their first 13 points tonight in that first half, King, but then he was quiet scoring-wise the rest of the half.
Yeah, he needs to get going, and they need to find him. I mean, he's not really a playmaker, but he's more of a catch and shoot. He can take 1 or 2 bounces, but they need to find him, get him more shots.
Sherman got it. Taz Sherman got poked in the eye in the first half about 9 minutes into the game, went out for a while, and has come back, and he had the sharp shooting eye on that one from the baseline.
Yeah, Sherman is cold-blooded.
Yeah, Taz came off the bench the first 13 games of the season, but including tonight, he started the last 4 in a row. That's a tough jumper on the way, and the big rainbow missed by Tyler Harris. Another opportunity, though. Harris gets in the lane. And that rebound for Culver. And guess what? Double-double number 9 for Culver to lead the Big 12. 25th of his career. We got to give Jordan McCabe some love on this, don't we, King?
Hey, Jordan McCabe, the Instagram sensation with the pass right there. Derek Culver padding the stats right there. Trying to get his boys, but he finished it.
When I was a kid, they used to ask me, you know, you're not afraid of very much, are you? I said, I'm afraid of ghosts. They said, why are you afraid of ghosts? I said, I can't see them. I can't hit anything I can't see. That's how I feel right now. It scares me that we don't have really a schedule. Okay, we know we got that 3 games in 5 days. What do we got after that? I don't know. You know, I don't think they know. And I'm sure it's because they don't know who's going to be laid up next. I'm not afraid to play Baylor 2 times in 5 days, obviously. And I'm not afraid to play Texas at Texas. But I'm afraid of the unknown. Because I don't know how to prepare for the unknown. I don't know how to fight the unknown.
And COVID is the invisible threat that every program, everybody in this country and around the world has been dealing with. Look at all the cancellations in the thousands between men's and women's basketball so far this year. In West Virginia, they had 3 games in a row postponed. A game at Baylor against TCU and Oklahoma State scheduled in Morgantown. It went 14 days between games not long ago. Iowa State went 16 days between games. They had 4 games in a row that were postponed. So it sounds trite to say it is what it is, but everybody's dealing with it. And certainly, King, some more than others because of the COVID protocol that takes certain players out for a certain length of time. And I feel Bob Huggins' pain and everybody else's pain this year. It's been a rough year.
Man, I couldn't even imagine, being a player. I feel like we always look at it from a coach's perspective, but we never really talk about the players and how they're feeling. I feel like it would be so tough to prepare mentally for a game, get ready, and less than 24 hours before the game, they tell you it's canceled. Or you have 3 games postponed, then you have to come back and play in the Big 12. I don't know how you can do it as a player. I mean, it's super, super challenging.
And to put a little button on it, the other part of this is Iowa State down by 10 here. It's what happens off the court. It's not normal for the players now. Here's Matthews able to keep it alive for West Virginia and take it to the rim, and a whistle and a stoppage in play. But you remember your college days at Baylor. I mean, you're on the court, and you obviously have a lot to do with basketball. But then you have a chance to go to a movie or socialize with. They don't have that now, the players this year. They don't have that outlet, which is so important, especially at their age. And mental health is just as big a part of the equation here as physical health.
And then you think about it, like I had COVID, and when I first came back from COVID, when I tried to work out again, tried to play again, it was hard for me to breathe. Like, it was hard for me to actually go out there and compete on that same level. So I couldn't even imagine being in tip-top shape, getting COVID, and then have to struggle to fight back to play against elite-level competition and still try to win a championship. I don't know. It's super challenging, and it's super tough on players. And I think we talk more about the players' mental health and pay more attention to that.
Osaboyan holding his side as he came off the floor there. So we'll keep an eye and try to get word what the situation is with Osaboyan going forward. Still 14 minutes to go. 10-point lead in the ball for West Virginia. By the way, Jalen Coleman-Lands picked up his 3rd foul for Iowa State, so he's come out of the game. Here's a drive by Matthews. That's going the other way to Iowa State. Culver picks up his 2nd. Big 12 now on ESPN Plus from Hilton Coliseum, Ames, Iowa. 17th ranked West Virginia. Iowa State gets a bucket there from Solomon Young. His first game back from COVID protocol, and he's in double digits with 11 points. McCabe.
That's tough.
Wow, very tough angle to kiss that in off the glass.
Jordan McCabe is really, really skilled. I mean, I don't think he gets the credit he deserves as far as what he can actually do with the basketball. He's a very talented and skilled player.
Culver adds his 11th rebound to go with his 11 points. 3 from the corner. McNeil. He hit 2 big ones early in the game, then kind of went quiet from beyond the arc, but hits his 3rd of the night tonight, his 1st of the half. Little scoop shot and score by Rasir Bolton. 11 for Bolton. Actually make that 13 for Bolton. He's now the leading scorer for the Cyclones. Get it down to, if they can keep it down to single digits. Iowa State trying to stay close here on their home floor. That's a deep 3. Back rim miss by McNeil, but the back tap by Matthews gives McNeil a chance, but he's sealed off by Bolton. And Matthews with a thunderous dunk.
Whoa. Yeah, we definitely got to take a look at that at the break.
Bolton spinning on that pivot foot. Here's Trey Jackson. Young trying to spin past Culver. Foul on Culver will be his 3rd. You ask, you shall receive, King. Courtesy of Emmett Matthews Jr.
Emmett Matthews Jr. on the nice cut right there. And oh my gosh, the flush. Solomon Young, get out the way or get dunked on. Who is next for Emmett Matthews? Oh my gosh.
Out of the break, 11:51 to play, and Solomon Young at the free throw line. Young now in his 19 minutes. He makes an 11-point game. Word we get on Gabe Osaboyan, a hip pointer, questionable at this point to return for West Virginia. McNeil. Sherman on the drive. Bit of contact there from Trey Jackson in the Iowa State foul.
Iowa State foul on Trey Jackson, his first personal free foul on Iowa State.
2 shots here for Taz Sherman.
Yeah, I kind of like that adjustment by Steve Prohm at the timeout to go zone. I mean, give a different look right now. You're not really stopping them in the man in the defensive end, so give another look. Go zone, see what they can do. Force them to take jumpers, especially right now with Derek Culver out. See what they give you.
Culver with 3 fouls on the bench with 11 points, 11 rebounds. You got Coleman Lands on the bench for Iowa State with 3. Those are the 2 players, 1 for each squad, that's hit 3 fouls at this juncture with over 11 minutes to go. Young, he has that range, but from that left wing was too strong.
I think Young has to attack right there. He has to go get a bucket and go score on the inexperienced big right there.
Yeah, you got Sini and Jai, a true freshman, in there, getting some minutes with Culver on the bench right now with the 3 fouls. Little collision, and Matthews keeping it alive for West Virginia. Shot clock's under 5. McCabe tried another circus shot off the glass, but that time it wouldn't go in. Coleman Lands back in the game playing with 3 for Iowa State, and that's blocked by freshman Sini Njai.
Big fella coming for the monstrous block. Coleman Lands didn't see him, and out of bounds on Coleman Lands, going the opposite direction.
Sini Njai, he's 6'10", 235 pounds, freshman from Senegal. Spent some time at Huntington Prep in West Virginia.
Hey, dude does not look like a freshman.
No, he's well built, that's for sure. That's a 3 from Taz Sherman, and West Virginia has opened it up to a 15-point lead, their largest lead tonight. Sherman joins McNeil, leading West Virginia with 13 points. Pull up from the left elbow, swish. Jaden Walker, Iowa State freshman there.
You know, I think the biggest difference between this year's West Virginia team and last year's West Virginia team is Taz Sherman and Sean McNeil's comfortability. I think last year they were just trying to figure things out coming from JUCO. This year, I think now that they figured out, now that they provided more shooting and more scoring, this is taking this team to the next level.
A lot of the same pieces from last year. They lost Jermaine Haley, then Chase Harler, Logan Rowden, who were a couple of guys that were each there all 4 years. And then, of course, what Oscar Tshiebwe left the program on New Year's Day this year. That changed everything offensively. By the way, Coleman Lands now with 4 fouls, checks out. They go from a playing 2 bigs now playing 4 out, 1 in, King, and it's really opened up the floor, especially for a guy like Derek Culver.
Yeah, I mean, when you got a 6'9" perimeter player like Jalen Bridges, who can step out and space the floor, but also rebound and guard a 4 on the other team, it helps you tremendously because Derek Culver is a presence. He's going to force a double team every time he touches it, and if not, he can score easily. So his ability to be able to kick and find shooters around him, like Taz Sherman, like Sean McNeil, it's elevated this team, and that's what got him over that hump.
Talking with Bob Huggins earlier today, I asked him, I said, are the days completely gone where you played 2 big men? And he says, yeah, probably so. That's just the way basketball is. He says it's basically been imported from Europe into the NBA and now the college rinks where it's more guard dominated. 4 out, 1, I should say 4 out, 1 in at times, but a lot of times you see 5 guards out there.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly where basketball is headed. And then the next level for this team is when Emmett Matthews, when he plays like the way he is tonight, he plays like that every single game. That gives you another backup option at the 4. Then that gets this team to a whole nother level. Then that makes them potential Elite 8, Final 4 bound.
Neil kind of looking around like, I traveled on that? And he's like, yeah. 10th turnover for West Virginia tonight. First turnover of the half for the Mountaineers. And it comes over 11 minutes into the half. There's another bucket for Jaden Walker, this time able to take it to the rim.
Yeah, he's showing promise. He's playing really well tonight, and he's as a freshman, I think he could step up and play some significant minutes from now on.
Hard drive. Johnson loose underneath and on the baseline. I think it was touched by West Virginia while somebody was out of bounds. Here comes Deuce McBride back in the game. 13 points for him. He's hit 3 threes tonight. Ray Jackson brings it up. Spinning. Walker. Good ball movement. Wide open in the corner. 3 for Harris.
It's a great drive to the opposite, kick on the wing, and the extra 1 more pass. That's good basketball right there.
Second 3 tonight for the transfer from Memphis, Tyler Harris. Here's Matthews. Kelly Self has to dodge Matthews on the baseline. Timeout. Under 8 minutes to go in a 10-point game. From Emmett Matthews. And then Greg Brown.
Inside.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
that stuff.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh. Yo, he did not have to dunk dude like that. He did not have to do that.
Well, Baylor's leading Texas 65-59. They're at the under 8 timeout in Austin. And it's 65-55 here with 7:47 to play in this second half. Great to have you with us tonight. Big 12 now on ESPN Plus. KU K-State 10-point game at Allen Fieldhouse in the first half. Matthews sinks the first free throw. Double-figure scoring tonight for Emmett Matthews. He's a perfect 4 of 4 from the line as well. Walker. Little touch foul there for Matthews.
But I hate when refs call those touch fouls. That's probably one of the most annoying things as a basketball player. Right? What I did not affect his ability to get past me. I hate that.
You have to have some form of impediment, don't you, to call a foul? If not, it's a play on.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a steal.
I feel like if it doesn't affect the play, why call it? I mean, if he blows by me and I hand check him, he's still past me. Don't call that.
Harris. He's been mainly shooting those from the left corner, this time from the right wing. And his third 3 tonight makes it a 9-point game. Iowa State keeps hanging around here, King.
It's great footwork. Like he might have traveled at first. With the jab, got him off balance. 3, Tyler Harris, created separation.
We slip under 7 minutes to go in Ames. Walker underneath. And one opportunity. That's Darlington Dubar, who's slow getting up.
Impressive finish, but what I am most impressed with is Jaden Walker's ability to penetrate and attack tonight on this aggressive West Virginia defense. Coach mentioned him in the pregame interview, but this kid is definitely stepping up, and he's one of the guys who's looking like he can actually become a main playmaker for this Iowa State team.
And that was a hard fall for Dubar. He came down awkwardly and then fell on his back. In and out with a free throw. So it's a 7-point game. Still plenty of time for Iowa State if they can get some stops. Each team shooting the ball well here in the second half. Baseline jumper, Matthews came up short. Chance for the Cyclones to make this a 2-possession game. Ball movement into the corner. The 3 is long from Jackson and into the arms of Miles McBride.
That was a good pre-switch right there by Gabe Osabuoye.
Osabuoye in the handoff. Sherman thought he had a step on Dubar, and he does get that to roll in. Young turned right in the face of Matthews. Jackson from the right baseline, able to get his own miss behind the back.
Ooh.
3 from Harris. Good. We saw a behind the back pass earlier from West Virginia's Jordan McCabe, and now we get one from Trey Jackson of Iowa State that gets a grin from Bolton on the bench.
That was a great pass, but you can still tell that Trey doesn't really have his legs under him. He still hasn't really adjusted from coming back. A lot of his shots are short.
It was a long 2-try from McNeil. And here's Iowa State with 5 minutes to go. Only down 6. They trailed by as many as 15 at one point in the second half. Bucket for Jackson. It's a 4-point game. 10-2 run for the Cyclones. Gets this crowd of 1,300 into it. Timeout, West Virginia. Got to look at this pass again, King.
Trey Jackson does the little things. Trying to compete with Jordan McCabe. I can throw the better pass. Ending with the 3, but he gets the assist this time.
Last 8 from the field. They are on a 10-2 run, and King, they're in this game.
Hey, Jaden Walker's leading it all, but one thing they're doing is moving the basketball. They're moving the basketball and leading the open shots, open threes, taking the right shots, not forcing anything. That's what's got them back into this ball game, ball movement and taking the right shots. They're playing like a mature team. All they got to do is try to finish the ball game, which is an area where they struggled at. So can they finish this ball game and cap off this run? Or will West Virginia have answers for it? We'll see.
Take a look at the numbers in this game. Also keep in mind that these two teams played back on December 18th in Morgantown. And Iowa State led by 1 with about 30 seconds left in that game. West Virginia went on a 6-0 run to end the game. They won 70-65. But it's a game, King, that Iowa State still thinks, hey, we should have won that one. And I know that's in the back of their minds here, still looking for their first Big 12 win of the year.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, they play teams so close, but their biggest problem has been closing out games, finishing games. Can they finally get over that hump and win one? I think Coach Crum just wants to see his team win one, and he thinks that could spark them for the rest of the season.
Let's see if they can get another stop. 4-point game, and there's a steal by Jaden Walker. Here's Harris, who has 12 points all in this half. If that went down, we had ourselves a 1-point game.
Little heat check right there. Got to shoot that one after you make 3.
Matthews has been impressive. He has 13 points. He's looking for the ball here. That's tied a season high for him in points. Here's Matthews. Culver. Might have been a little grab from Young. There was. And Solomon picks up the foul. But we got a game. Don't go anywhere. Under 4 minutes to go in Ames. 69-65 Mountaineers. Was ranked 8th at this point. Their conference opener against Iowa State. And it was a tight game throughout. Iowa State getting some points. And we're up 1. But a 6-0 run for West Virginia to end the game. And West Virginia survived it at home 70-65. They had as much as a 15-point lead here in the second half with 9:20 to go. And we got a 4-point game with under 4 minutes to go.
Hey, I'm glad this is a great game. A lot of people probably thinking that this would have been way different than what we're seeing right now.
Hey, let me mention, and we've talked a lot about Deuce McBride tonight. He has 9 points, only 2 in the second half, so he's been quiet scoring-wise. He does have a career-high 8 rebounds tonight. It's Culver at the line, shooting the front of a 1-and-1. Culver, by the way, was much better from the line on Saturday against Florida. He had 14 of 17 free throws. And Bob Huggins said that he had worked with him prior to the game about just getting his elbow underneath so everything wasn't so flat. And he hits both free throws there in what's turned out to be a key spot for West Virginia to make it a 6-point game. This is Bolton, who has tied a season high with 7 assists tonight. Freshman Walker underneath to the corner, and there's that 3 for Tyler Harris, his 5th of the game, and it's a 3-point game.
Tyler Harris has shot the 3 exceptionally well, but I'm just so impressed right now with Jaden Walker and his ability to make plays and just be under control the whole game and find players.
Matthews got caught underneath, finds Sherman. He's in a crowd, lost it, able to get it back. Shot clock winding down. Matthews off the back rim. Culver going after the rebound, but it's Bolton who came down with it all the way to the court and kept it alive, and here comes Iowa State.
And I know Bolton's going to feel that one in the morning. Running head on with, oh, good pass. Another one by Jaden Walker.
And Solomon Young lays it in, and it's a 1-point game.
Two great passes by Jaden Walker. One, the find to the corner, locating where the defense helped off of. And right here off the pick and roll, Eric Culver didn't get back, so you hit the roll in Solomon Young. Jaden Walker has been impressive in Iowa State. Cyclone fans, you might have found your main playmaker.
Walker, 6 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists. A, shall we say, devilish total right now for Walker.
Man, I think it's the kicks. He has the Concords on, the Jordans. The Concord Jordans on. I think it's the kicks that's giving them powers right now.
Well, West Virginia messes a big front end. With under 2.5 minutes to go. Walker lost it in the crowd, and then it's tied up. Possession arrow to West Virginia. That time the freshman dribbled right into a crowd of 4 blue jerseys.
It's expected. I mean, he's young. He's in the game situations. He hasn't been there before. This is a great learning experience for him.
Turnovers about even, but that was the 15th for Iowa State.
I think West Virginia needs to get the ball inside the Culver right now. I think right now nobody can guard him.
Here he is, faces up on Young, right back out. Johnson. That's a three, and he's fouled. Taz Sherman. It's the third time tonight that Iowa State has fouled a West Virginia three-point shooter.
See if this is the right call. Didn't let him land. The rule is you have to be able to come down. It's the right call by the ref. Jumped a little too much, didn't have the length to be able to alter the shot like he wanted to. Hit him with the body, didn't let him land. Right call.
3 free throws for Sherman, who drains the first, but I think even from this angle, a little back up what you're saying, he didn't get room to come right back down. He even got bumped a little bit by the knee up top.
Yeah, it's the right call, 100%.
Sherman, a really good free throw shooter, mid 80 percentile, 84, 85%. He's hit the first two. He drains all three. 4-point lead for the Mountaineers. Minute 50 to go.
Marcus, little plays like that, that keep Iowa State from getting over the hump. I mean, you're a minute left, under 2 minutes to go. You foul a three-point shooter, giving them 3 easy points. Make them earn it.
And an and-one opportunity for Bolton.
Big-time finish right there. Rasir Bolton with the big-time finish. Able to draw the contact, eyes up on the layup. Not affected by the contact right there. And one, Rasir Bolton.
Looking like free throws could be key coming down the stretch here. Iowa State 7 of 11 tonight from the line. West Virginia 15 of 22. And Bolton can't finish the three-point play. First meeting between these teams, there was a big discrepancy. West Virginia shot 37 free throws and Iowa State shot 9 in that game on December 18th in Morgantown.
Man, I've been there. I know how it feels. Just leave it at that.
Culver trying to bully his way in, lost it, gets it back, and it went out of bounds. Well, they're going to say it's tied up in the possession arrow to Iowa State.
Tied up.
Let's get a good look from the baseline here. Yeah, man, if it wasn't tied up long enough, I think our baseline official, Terry Weimer's like, yeah, I'm not sure who that was off of. Let's go to the possession arrow.
Hey, that's what he did. It wasn't a tie-up right there. He didn't know who the ball went out on, so he just tried to save himself and tie up going towards Iowa State. He has a cop-out.
So 74-72 West Virginia. The Mountaineers had a 15-point lead with 9:20 to go. They were up 65-50. Iowa State their last lead for the Cyclones was at the 8:17 mark of the first half when they were up 26-25. Iowa State looking for their first conference win. They have lost 5 in a row. They're 2-9 overall. Their last win was against Jackson State. They're 2 wins. One against Arkansas Pine Bluff, the other against Jackson State. So they're trying to make something positive happen here. Look at our game summary. 2-point game. Well, that was a dangerous inbounds. Coleman Lance playing with 4 fouls. And a minute to go. Matthews right on Coleman Lance.
Oh,
off balance. It turned into a pass to Young, and then he has it blocked by Alsaboyan. Puts it up with the shot clock expiring, and that kicks off the heel.
That was a great defensive possession right there from West Virginia, forcing 2 tough/bad shots.
So 20 on the shot clock, 34 on the game clock. West Virginia is going to use a timeout here, and they'll have 1 remaining. It was a bit discombobulated this last possession for Iowa State here, King. They were able to get off a shot. It wasn't a great shot.
Hey, that was a horrible shot. He should have passed that right there because he was stumbling. No chance. Good defensive possession right there by West Virginia.
So big possession here as we reset it. Possession arrow favors West Virginia. And they could choose, as long as Iowa State doesn't foul, they could eat this down, King, to about 14, 15 seconds. And if they get a bucket and make it a 2-possession game, that obviously would be big, but they can eat up a lot of clock here as long as Iowa State elects not to foul.
Yeah, I mean, one thing you can't do is foul. I wouldn't foul right here. You have to shoot the ball. I'm not fouling right here. I am betting on my defense, getting the stop. And there's no cover out there right now. So I think you help off Gabe Osabuoye right now and make Gabe Osabuoye try to score. Help off of him.
The next Iowa State foul puts West Virginia in the double bonus. So they're going to play it out here. The Cyclones willing to try to get a stop and keep it a 1-possession game. McBride's been quiet in the second half. Got it off before shot clock expired, but it did not hit the rim. I think they're maybe going to take a look at this, or at least discuss it. Kelly Self and Terry Oglesby. Looks like they're going to go to the monitor. I think they're also going to take a look to see perhaps how much time. I don't think the ball hit the rim. It's tough. Obviously, you and I aren't on site. We're at our at-home studios, King. But it didn't sound, and we use a lot of that with the sound. It didn't sound like it hit the rim. So let's take another look.
That looked like it didn't hit the rim. It didn't hit the rim. The ball didn't even change the way it spun. Yeah.
A shot clock violation. So there should be, and we got a great look there on the last one. You could see the game clock up above the top of the backboard. They're probably going to put about just under 14 seconds on the game clock. Yeah, I don't think that hit the rim. A lot of great looks from our crew from different angles. So the shot clock's already at 0. It doesn't hit rim. So at that point, you've got a shot clock violation. So it's to be in the high 13s, close to 14 seconds. So they may add at least a half second, maybe around a full second to this. So Iowa State's going to have the ball. And King, this is a team that, let's face it, they're 0-6 in conference play. They're 2-9 overall. Are you going to take your first best shot? You're going to hold it, and if you hold it, to try to get the final shot, or at least maybe wait till there's 4 or 5 seconds. Give yourself a chance for a rebound if you miss.
Yeah, I'll take the first.
Is a 3 on the table here? Are you thinking win instead of just trying to tie the game?
I mean, right now, I think you're thinking first available. I mean, whether that's a 3, whether that's a layup, whatever is open. If it's a good shot, it's a good shot. The key thing right here is do not turn the ball over, and you must take a good shot. You have 15 seconds, plenty of time, but you must get a good shot. And the reason why I say good shot, because the last possession they came down, they got 2 bad shots. So whatever you do, penetrate. 15 seconds is a lot of time. Right now, I might be looking at getting the ball to Jaden Walker and just letting him try to make a play. Either letting him make a play or getting the ball to Solomon Young right now and letting him eat down low.
So they did add a little bit of time, up over 15 seconds. And now after Iowa State took their spots on the floor, they take a timeout. Each team now with 1 left. So Steve Prohm got a chance to look at what West Virginia is going to do defensively. And we'll see if Iowa State changes things up with the way they lined up on the out-of-bounds play. There's our reset. Possession arrow does favor West Virginia, so keep that in mind. Each team has a timeout. If it comes to where a foul is committed, you know, West Virginia has, if their next foul will put Iowa State in a 1-1. Iowa State, one more foul will put West Virginia in the double bonus. But right now, you got an Iowa State team who's been pretty good from beyond the arc tonight, King. 9 of 20, 45%.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I say take the first shot available, because you've been stroking it from deep, really consistent. So if you can get a layup, get a layup. If you can get a three, get a three. But you must take, I keep repeating this, you must take a good shot. Emphasis on good.
You saw that last graphic. It's been almost 14 months since Iowa State has beaten a ranked team. We got a chance here. Bolton ran right into Osaboy, and Sherman has it, and both players are shaken up. They came chest to chest in a hard collision. And West Virginia has possession.
Now, you know, I've seen a lot of basketball, and you have to call something right there. It has to be a block or a charge. It has to be one of the either.
He lost possession of the ball, Bolton did, before he hit Osaboyan. So what does that play into it?
But that's the same play. When you throw a pass and the guy and the defender is still sitting right there waiting to take a charge, it's still a charge. I mean, you have to call something as a referee. It has to either be a block or a charge, but that's way too much contact for you to just be silent.
And they did evidently call the offensive foul because it has put West Virginia at the line.
Well, no, they must have called another foul because Osaboyan took the charge, or tried to take the charge. So they must have called another. Oh, they called a foul on Coleman Lands. There we go. There we go. Yeah.
All right, Coleman Lands just fouled out. So that was to stop the clock. It puts West Virginia at the line for 2 shots here. So you got Sherman going to the line. He's hit 5 of 6 from the stripe tonight. And he's an 84% foul shooter coming in. And West Virginia is in the double bonus, so he's shooting 2 here with a chance, if to not ice the game by hitting both, to come very close to doing so. Derek Culver, I don't believe he's on the floor here, King.
Yeah.
At the end of the game.
I don't think I've seen him the last 2 or 3 possessions. I mean, that's an interesting move by Huggs.
So he hits the first, and right now Culver's got a towel around his neck, and Iowa State uses their last timeout. With 6.4 seconds to go. Culver's had another double-double tonight. 13 points, 12 rebounds. Coming off a career-high 28 points on Saturday against Florida. All right, let's assume, King, that Sherman hits the next free throw and makes this a 4-point game. Obviously, if he misses it, Iowa State's going to try to get it down the floor and shoot a 3. But if it's down 4, what can Iowa State do here with not much time left, down 2 possessions?
You have to have full court heave. I mean, at this point, get the ball to the front court, call a quick timeout, because you really don't have much time. 6 seconds left. That means you might get 2 possession games, 6. You might get 1 or 2 dribbles, but you got to get a quick shot up so you can foul ASAP. Try to get a 3 up, foul right away. Hopefully you get the 3 up in about 2 seconds. Now after you get that 3 up, if it goes in, try to foul off rip. Try to cut it down like there. But right now you got to go for 3s, because if you go for a 2, there's really no point.
Tyler Harris 5 of 6 in 3-point shooting in this half for Iowa State. But on the flip side of that, if Sherman misses this, if you're West Virginia, you don't want to foul a shooter, obviously, but do you want to foul here up 3 and put them at the line? Well, let's see how it all plays out.
If you can get him in the backcourt, you should foul.
Well, Sherman makes that a moot point. It's a 4-point game. 6.4 to go. Iowa State down 4. That's a 3. Bolton off the right heel, and that's going to do it. Well, Iowa State was down 15 with 9:20 to go. Came back, made it a 1-possession game, but Bob Huggins Mountaineers pull it out by 4, 76-72.
Right. Iowa State fought hard tonight, but West Virginia just had too much at the end. Too much firepower and came in the Ames and took care of business.
So West Virginia with the victory now 12-5 overall. They go to 5-3 in Big 12 play, and Iowa State drops to 0-7 in conference. They've lost 6 in a row overall and are now 2-10 in conference play. And West Virginia takes both games, both of them tight. They won it by 5 back on December 18th in Morgantown, 70-65, and they win this one by 4. And we're joined by Coach Huggins. Hugs, you got another big battle tonight. What happened down late that made this a very tight game?
Well, Steve's a heck of a coach. I think first and foremost, he put some guys in position that we didn't guard them very well, and they shot the heck out of it. They really shot the ball well in the second half.
2 guys who shot the ball well tonight, and one is Matthews off the bench, who came back and really had some big points for you and big rebounds. And then Taz Sherman had a huge game tonight with 18.
You know, Taz is one of the guys we count on, and so is Emmett. I mean, Emmett just coming back to full strength, so we've been trying to ease him in as best we possibly can, but he's going to have to start playing some more minutes for us as well.
Coach Hugs, I saw that Derek Culver was not out there at the end, towards the end of the game. Any particular reason why?
Yeah, because Gabe guards the ball a lot better than Derek does. Why do I want to put a 6'10" guy out there on a guard? They basically were playing 5 guards or 4 guards and young, so Gabe moves his feet.
Hugs, we've been talking all night. I mean, both your squads, Iowa State and you guys, have dealt with the COVID issue, kind of the invisible enemy that is out there. How close are you getting your team back to where you'd like to see physically, mentally, and everything, if you can, at this point in the season?
After tonight, I'd say we're about 127 miles away. How's that? That's just a guess on the mileage, but
still a ways away. It's been a tough year for a lot of folks in regards to COVID. Hugs, congratulations on the win tonight. We appreciate the time.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
You got it. And Hugs and West Virginia win it by 4. That's going to take care of things from Ames. For King McClure and our entire crew, I'm Mark Neely. Thanks for sharing this one with us. So long from Ames, Iowa.